pounds of steel a day. I know that's hard to believe. But it comes down the line and you just pick it up and you put it down. You pick it up, you put it down. You pick it up and you put it down. They'll range from 3 or 4 pounds to 400-pound pieces. I do my work, but I don't get excited about it, you know? I mean, I do it, but I don't say, what do you do? How are you going to get excited about pulling steel? How are you going to get excited when you're tired? You just want to sit down. We had this guy at work this summer. He was a college boy. He sees a book in my back pocket. He comes up to me and he says, you read? I says, well, yeah, I read. He says, all these dummies around here read is just sports pages. What are you doing with the book? And it's a non-recognition by other people that really gets to you. To say that a man is just a laborer, or that a woman is just a housewife. Sometimes I'll be pulling that steel, and I'll be thinking that maybe it's going to be a car someday. And some guy I'm never even going to know. He's going to get in, drive away, not even think about me. I think about that guy a lot sometimes. There he is, out in his suburbs, driving his air-conditioned car right into his air-conditioned office. Not a care in the world. Just sitting back, enjoying the ride.
I don't know, he does this every morning.
He just drives around there and listens to the radio.
Not only that, once he's got your car, you don't know what the hell he's going to do to it before he gives it back to you.
Cracking call.
Them guys don't like me. They think I'm reckless and a big goofball. I treat every one of their calls like it's my own. I don't care what they say. I've been a parking lot attendant for over 32 years. In my younger days, I was the best. I could drive any car like a baby. Like a woman changed her baby's diapers. I still keep customer saying, man, you sure can drive. How long have you been doing it? I say, I started when I was 16, and I'm still doing it. All my days is cars. All my waking hours is cars. I drive my car to work, and when I get in, it's the customer's car. And then I drive my car home at night. But when I go out, my wife drives. I'm known from Peking to Hong Kong, from the West Coast to the Bay Coast. I get cars is my game. In an automobile, I used to be hell on wheels, and that's what earned me my name. Ask anybody to tell you about loving out. Ask anybody, and anybody will tell you there was a time when nobody beat me doing what I do. I wind up taking slide under the wheel, right off the bat, have it under control. Use one hand, I spin all around, without looking back, but it's free no hole. People ask me how I do it. I tell them that there ain't nothing to cover. Loving out. We still give them service, but it ain't sworn yay. Why can't I be a rich man with a big bucks in my jeans? I'll buy me a brand new can and a 50-cent cigar. 'Cause you can't smoke 10-cent stogies when you're riding in a rich man's car. I see you get out, the tuxedo's on, and when I get in, I can smell it cologne. It fills me up, so I'm listening to walk, sitting pretending like it was my own. I may sit longer than I should. That's 'cause it feels so good too. Loving out the reason I want to have the feeling. Loving out is the reason. Don't be surprised at what you see. Once we in, once we out, and look out. I had a customer once, tall as a smokestack. I sit down and looked like I was sitting in the back. He said, "You better pull that seat up, boy. I'm over 6 feet." I said, "Mister, I never moved anybody's seat. 'Cause I'm loving out the reason. Hey, I want to take out that seat. Hey, loving out is the reason. So don't be surprised at what you see. Once we in, once we out, and look out." Loving out the reason, reasons that me agree. Loving out is the reason, it's a walking like we're free. I got spirit, got you a chip. Loving out, signing off. Oh yeah.
Good morning. The time is exactly 9:00.
Is your coffee, Mr. Rosen?
Good morning. The time is exactly 9:15.
When I first came here, I came in early and stayed late. I'd work a project to the bone, get it really done right, and then ask for more. They didn't like that. I was out of line. I was wrecking the curve. Everyone else, rationing this time, playing cards at lunch for 3 hours, sunbathing on the roof. Then I realized the road to ruin is doing a good job. The amazing, absurd thing is, once I stopped doing a good job, people started recognizing a sort of authority in me. Now I'm moving ahead like blazes. I have my own office. I have my own secretary. If I want a bookcase, I get a bookcase. If I want to go shopping, I go shopping. This is the first comfortable job I've ever had. And it's absolutely the sabotage immediately. It's funny. When you ask someone who they are, they describe themselves by their job. When someone asks me, I say, I'm Nora Watson, and at certain points in time, I do things for a living.
I'm president and chief executive of this corporation. I have a lavish office with 2 secretaries, a private dining room with a private chef. I couldn't be more secure, right? I don't know of any situation in the corporate world where man is sure of his position from moment to moment. Oh, we may put on a front. Nothing can happen to me. I'm too important. But still, the fear is there. You can smell it. So, I'll sit in my office and eat Tums by the minute. You see, when a chief executive's fired, the shock is tremendous. Immediately, his Cadillac taken away. His fax line cut off. Even the phone at home stops ringing. Everybody shuns him. They don't want to be associated with him. Bingo! He's dead. We had a vice president. He was with us a good 6 months, but he was totally inadequate. So I called him into my office, and I told him he was through. I gave him my severance pay, but he cried. What did I ever do wrong? Please, don't do this to me. My daughter, she's getting married in a few months. How will I ever face people? He cried, and he cried, and he cried. But I had to let him go. I couldn't keep him on. Sometimes, the power and the status seems empty. Sometimes, you get this feeling of little boys playing in business. You get this feeling. It must be terrible. Removed from a status position, even the phone at home stops ringing. It's just like, I don't want to go into that.
I don't know what prompted me to be
did a wonderful thing for these children. Happy, they adored it. The neighborhood is changing. Oh, the type of child is changing too. I believe I now have 32 in my class, about 23 Spanish, maybe 2 Appalachians. Oh, I've seen a great many changes since I began teaching in 1937. January 6th, 1937. Oh, my classroom was different back then. They were primarily Polish. Oh, but I loved the Polish people. They were hard workers. And we had 2 colored parents. But they were sweet. My classroom was always a showcase. In those days, we did it ourselves. With colorful pictures and charts on the wall. A snowman in winter, a pumpkin in fall, and all my supplies with neat little piles on the shelf. My children were always well-mannered. When the principal came, they would rise. Well, if I had to leave the room for a minute or two, they always had something constructive to do. And everyone sat in their places according to size. But kids don't know how to behave anymore. Ask them to rise and they ask you what for. They write on the walls and they'll sit on the floor. It's called informality. Now they want me to teach in a classroom like that, but nobody tells me how. I made a big thing about spelling, but they learned by the time I got through. They copied the words till they knew them by heart, 10 times for the dumb ones, and only twice for the smart. And gold stars were given to those who made sentences too. But nobody teaches them spelling today. Who has the time between weaving and play? The words they can spell, I'm embarrassed to say, they're free to express themselves. Now the way I've been teaching for 42 years is no longer effective or so it appears. Well, damn it, it worked for me then, so what's wrong with it now? They say I'm supposed to keep up with the times, but nobody ever tells me how. Out of all my years of teaching, there's one student who sticks out in my mind the most. Her name's Pam. Oh, I see her every now and then. She's a checker at the treasure island supermarket. She doesn't give any trouble today either. She has the same smile for everyone.
go to school to get her teaching pay. But she can't, because her hours are long. Can't get her hours changed. Yet, she is a veteran. If she were to die at Checker and never enrich her life, that would be okay, because those are her hours.
Well, I'm a checker, and I'm very proud of it. I don't care that I wear nurse's shoes and uniforms, and I got varicose veins. I look forward to coming to work. I enjoy something terrible. Anyone who looks down on me is lower than I am.
Excuse me, I have to be somewhere in 10 minutes. Can you hurry up and bag those?
You wait your turn, and I will give you my full, undivided attention. You rush, and you're gonna get nothing.
You walk through the doors, and the music starts playing. Everything's pretty, everything's nice and fresh. You're not aware that in the back room it stinks. Everyone's yelling at each other. They play do that over those loudspeakers, so you can relax while you shop. Back then, it's like Guantanamo, Cuban Revolution songs. I mean, no one pays any attention to music. They go to the store to shop and hit their kids and talk about those idiots passing out the anti-rape petitions. Oftentimes, people will come to the register and say,
I just bought grapes for the first time because of those idiots outside.
then I have to take their grapes, put it in a bag, take them for something. Thank you for coming. Then I have to take them out to the car.
Please, ma'am, do not buy any grapes. Please, sir, do not buy any grapes. I was born on a cotton sack out in the fields because my parents didn't have enough money for the hospital. We used to migrate from California to Arizona and back again. Things I saw, they shaped my life. I started picking crops when I was 8. I couldn't do much, but every little bit helped. Every time I get behind in my chores, I'd get a broken carrot thrown at me by my parents. But I would take it. I'd see my mom living in the same place all the time, being admired by all the people in the community. And I'd be rudely awakened by her. I remember we just got into California to pick the carrot harvest. It was very cold. We just had one blanket for all 4 of us kids. So I stole a brand new blanket from the grower. Somebody saw me. The next day the grower told my mom he'd turn us in unless we returned the blanket to him. Sterilized. So me and my mom went down to the river. We washed it, she ironed it, and sent it back to the grower. Man, I got a spanking for that. After my dad died, my mom would go to her tent, and we'd go to ours, And we'd roughhouse and everything. And then I'd go to the tent where my mom was sleeping. And I'd see her crying. Every time I'd ask her why she was crying, she never gave me an answer. All she said was things would get better. But that day that things would get better, it never came for her. People could see in the winter ice on the field, in the summer picking watermelons in 105 degrees. People don't know how they got that salad, that cucumber, that lettuce on their table. If I had enough money, I would take busloads of people into the labor camps and onto the fields. Then they would know how that fine salad caught on their table. Please, sir, do not cry in graves. Please, ma'am, do not cry in graves.
Okay, you could have said something earlier, rather than just jumping up behind me and yelling, "Yes, ma'am."
Sorry.
Down there.
You know, you gotta make it fun for yourself. I can read a meter 20, 30 feet away. 26, 52, 26, 52. Where is he? Where'd he go? I've been bitten once already today. By a Doberman. It seems like the biggest part of the dog's day is when the gas man comes. One time, I'm trying to be friendly with this dog. A little schnauzer. The dog starts barking its full head off. So I'm walking away. The dog just falls over. Thought I had a heart attack or something. The lady said,
Sometimes he relaxes from barking too much.
sometimes I hit him over the head with a flashlight. That'll keep him from barking. But then they're like, "What'd you do that for? It's not gonna bite you." I'm like, "Lady, the dog's jumping and scratching me." Oh. But when no one's looking, I kick him down the stairs. Even if it only follows me 1, 2 steps down. I'm gonna get it when I missed a couple houses back. Yeah, it's a big thing with us as dogs. Oh, and women. Sometimes you'll see a nice cute chicken lying there. Sort of brightens up your day. We got a code, Q for cutie. They'll be lying there. 2-piece bathing suit, top strap undone, lying face down. You go behind them, you stare at me enough, you jump up. Gas man!
No, I don't work. Well, I work, but I don't have a job. What I do, it only matters to 3 people. All I am is just a housewife, nothing special, nothing great. What I do is kind of boring. If you'd rather, it can wait. All I am is someone's mother. All I am is someone's pants off, pick their shirts up, try to lose weight, try again, keep the troops fed, pick their things up, put your patience, count to 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All I am is just a housewife, nothing great. What I do is out of fashion, what I feel is out of date. All I am is someone's mother, right away I'm not too bright. What I do is unfulfilling, so the TV talk shows tell me every night. I don't mean to complain at all, but they make you feel like you're 2 feet tall when you're just a wife, just a house. Nowadays all the magazines make a bunch of beans, not a family life. You're a wimp if you go to work, but you're just a jerk if you say you won't. Just a house. Women live, they think it's fine, and the choice is mine, but you know they don't. What I do, what I choose to do, may be dumb to you, but it's not to me. Is it dumb that they need me there? Is it dumb to care if I do think that I need to do everything? That it's happening, what a joy it was, doing all the things that a housewife does. I'm afraid, unimpressive. All I am is someone's mother, nothing special. What I do is, what I decide is kind of dull. Take the kids here, take the kids there. I don't mean to complain at all. All I am is busy, busy every day. All I am is like my mother. All I am is just a housewife. I always knew I didn't want to be a housewife like my mothers and sisters. I think I've always known I wanted more out of life. I was 15, going on 16, and I was sitting in a coffee shop when a friend of mine came by. She said, "Come on, get in the cab. You can make $50 in 20 minutes." So we went up to a penthouse. The guy up there was quite well known. He wanted certain special favors. It was terrific. Here I was, doing nothing, feeling nothing, and in 20 minutes I was going to walk out of there with $50 in my pocket. How many of you make $50 for 20 minutes worth of work? And I was still in high school. It was terrific. Looking back, I wonder why I was so quick to run out of that coffee shop and turn a trick. It wasn't dramatic because my training had been how to be a hustler anyway. Just as a woman, we're taught how to hustle. The language girls hear every day. Don't sell yourself cheap, hold out for the highest bidder. What I do is no different from what 99% of American women are trained to do. I save money from under the lamp instead of in perfume. What would I do with 150 bottles of perfume a week? It's a marketplace transaction. Somehow, I managed to absorb that when I was quite young. Actually, I was very lonely. I didn't experience myself as being attractive. I didn't look like a Pepsi Cola ad. Guys were mostly scared of me. They didn't want to become emotionally attached, but they did want to ball. For a while, I was willing to accept that. It was feeling intimacy, feeling close, feeling job. I've become a hustler. Even when I'm not hustling, I'm a hustler. What you do is what you are. What I do is no different from what a mill worker does for 40 hours a week and then comes home cut off, numb, dehumanized. People aren't built to turn on and off like water faucets. I work in a luggage factory. We make suitcases. The take I work on is 6-foot deep, 8-foot square, every 40 seconds. I have to take the wet one out of the filter, put the blanket on to draw out the excess moisture. Wait 2-3 seconds. Take the blanket off. Pick up the wet felt and balance it on your shoulder. Reach over, grab the hose, spray the inside of this copper screen. Turn around, walk to the hot dry dye behind you. Take the hot piece off, set it on the floor. Take the wet felt, put it on the dry dye. Push this button. Inspect the piece you just took off. Stack it, count it, 40 seconds. In the summertime, the temperature of my workstation ranges from 100 to 150 degrees. I've taken thermometers and checked it out. I have arthritis in the joints of my fingers and naturally my shoulder from bouncing on that wet piece. The hose sometimes leak and spray back at you. The hydraulic presses leak, so you're slipping on oil. You have the possibility of being burnt every time that wet felt hits that hot dye. You're just engulfed in a cloud of steam every 40 seconds. The tanks run 24 hours a day. I work 8 hours straight with 2 10-minute breaks and 1 20-minute break for lunch. I find it difficult to eat my lunch in a limited time, 40 seconds. Granddad was a sailor and he flew in off the water. My father was a farmer and I his only daughter. I took up with an old good mill working man from Massachusetts who died from too much whiskey and leaves me these 3 faces. Mill work ain't easy, mill work ain't hard. Mill work most often is a really awful boring job, and I'm waiting for a daydream to take me through the morning and put me in my coffee break where I can have my sensation wonder. And it's me and my machine for the rest of the morning, for the rest of the afternoon, and the rest of my life. They can't keep men on the tapes. They say it's too monotonous. I think women are just better to monotony than men do because we're used to doing 2 things at once, while men can only do 1 thing at a time. See, a woman can listen to a child while she's doing something else. It must be the same way when you're in the tanks. You get to be automatic in what you're doing. Your mind is doing something else. The mind begins to wander to my days back on the barn, and I can see my father smiling at me, swinging on his arm, and I can hear my granddad's stories of the storms that on Lake Erie, vessels and cargoes, fortunes told and sailors' lives lost. If my life has
a good day laying stone. You get interested in what you're doing. You usually fight the clock the other way. You're not looking for quitting. In fact, you're wondering why you haven't gotten enough done. It's almost time to head home. There's not a house in this country that I haven't built that I don't look at every time I go by. There's one stone crooked. I still notice. People that live there might not notice, but I do. Stone's my business. No, stone is my life. I daydream all the time about stone. One day, I'm going to build me a stone cabinet down in the Green River. It's going to have stone doors, even stone cabinets in the kitchen. Everything's stone. Seems like all my dreams. Gotta have a piece of rock and stuff in them. He builds a house with his hands. 30 years go by, it stands. It stands where nothing stood. A house of stone. The mason thinks real good. He does his work declines. Quitting time's a big surprise. And then it's one more stone to get just right. It's always one more stone before the night. Every house he builds, every stone he lays, he's not just making money, counting off the days. He builds a house with his hands. 100 years go by, it stands. It tells you who he was. A life goes fast, but the work a mason does, it's made to last. The work a mason does. Nothing in this world lasts forever, but with stone, you're getting awful close. It's made to last.
If I could have been what I could have been, I could have been something.
I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player.
What I could be have been left to me. I could have been something.
I got married and I didn't stay long and my dad got sick.
There always seems to be a stumbling block. I had my plans. I was going to work for a few years, buy me a car and head south. But then I met my wife. We had our kids. And it changed things. You never know what you could have done.
If I could have done what I could have done, I could have done big things. With some luck to do what I wanted to, I could have done big things. Swam a few rivers, climbed a few hills, paid all my bills. Down the street that I'm stuck with. Hell, that ain't enough to very boring, if I had to say. Would you like a cocktail? Over and over. So I come out different for my own enjoyment. I say, what's exciting at the bar that I come or something. When it comes to cocktails, I give them a little philosophy. They have coffee, political science. I have an opinion on every single subject there is. My bosses don't like it, so I sort of But when I get meetings, I don't give a damn. I speak like an Italian speaks. I have to be a waitress. How else would the world come to me? Everyone wants to eat. Everyone has hunger. And I serve them. I give service. I can't be servile. There is a difference. It intoxicates me to give service. It becomes theatrical, and I feel like Matahari. It intoxicates me. I'm on stage. There's a balance, don't care when they put down the plate. There's a sound. That was me. When they move a chair, straight with the break on the ground. That was me. I will have my hand right when I place the glass. Notice how I stand right when customers pass. Serve a demi-tasse with the gestures so gentle, and do it again too. Near Oriental. It's an art to be a fine way to see that you pleasure each guest. There's a twist to my wrist if I let a fork drop or cut up a pork chop or serve a New York chop. It all needs to be stylish and smart. That's what makes it an art. I remember one day, as I do now and then, I had shake. Down I went, there with my tray full of 7 prime tenderloin steak. Down I went. But I kept my voice, not one guest heard was all. Never made a noise, food and all. If you have to crawl, you give them what they like. Carry your tray like it's almost ballet like. It's an art to be a fine waitress, to see that you treasure the test. Though my chef may be dead, I stay diplomatic. If I am static, then he might burn the haddock or put too much salt in a tart. That's what makes it an art. Tips? How? Tips are important to people like captains and barmen. For them, it's a tipsy. For me, I'm a gypsy. Just toss me a coin and I'll suddenly feel like I'm Carmen. Dave.
On the road, there's no women folk. A couple of waitresses, a few good old girls who might mess around, but nobody in particular. So as truckers, we get mighty lonely sitting in them trucks all day. Sometimes our thoughts are our only companions. So it's nice to call home every once in a while, even if you just have to talk to your dispatcher. Hello, Chet? Yeah, this is Frank, yeah. Yeah, I was just... Hello?
Operator 448, what seems to be your trouble, sir?
Yeah, I just got disconnected.
I'm sorry, what was the number you were calling?
219-692-0172.
That number seems to be busy, sir.
Jesus, lady, I was just talking to her.
Perhaps the party is trying to call you. Why don't you please call back again?
Oh, dear.
You know, sometimes you really want to talk to them. I mean, if they sound upset. For me, it's a temptation to say, gee, what's the matter? But you can't say more than, I'm sorry you're having trouble, sir. If you get caught talking to a customer, that's one mark against you. I had this one guy call in. He said, operator, I'm lonesome. Will you please talk to me? I said, I'm sorry, sir, but I can't. But you just can't. I mean, I'm a communications person, and I can't even communicate. There's only about 7 or 8 phrases you can say, and that's it. Operator, may I help you? Good evening, may I help you?
Good evening, may I help
What
you?
number did you want? Would you please repeat that again?
Repeat that again.
I have a collect call from so-and-so. Please accept the charges.
Please accept the
Please
charge.
deposit 70 cents in the first 3 minutes. That's about all you can say.
I like doing hotel switchboard. It's not lonely. You're talking to people. You ask another switchboard operator, they like it.
It's strange, but
I'm
I'm tired of
talking
talking.
today.
I mean, your
Not
arms
just
are
your
really
arms.
tired, but your
Your
mouth
arms
is
have
tired.
weight, and they get
Also,
very heavy at the end
the
of
girls
day.
get so many colds in the winter
Sometimes
because
shorts
you
are
are so close to everybody else.
Fingers.
Also, you go to
You
plug
plug
in
in
and your
and
fingernails
you
break.
want that
So I try to
nice
keep it short.
So you break your fingernails.
Why listen in on phone conversations?
I never listen in on phone conversations, but I'll tell you.
Some girls really do.
I've worked for
I don't know. I've never really had the urge to just flip the switch. I mean, I don't even know why. Especially at night. People on the line are so funny. You just laugh until tears are rolling down your face. Makes the night go faster.
Want to hear a good one? It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and a phone call came in, and I said, Holiday Inn. Because we're not Holiday Inn. Just fooling around. Anyway, my boss called me in. She said, Fran, why'd you do it? You're a great operator. We all love you. I just don't understand why you did it. Said, I just wanted to have some fun.
I always thought of the receptionist as the dumb broad at the front desk taking Bomish. Now I'm one, so of course I changed my opinion. She had to be special, right? Because I thought I was special. I was doing perfectly fine until we had this office party. I'd be having a fairly intelligent conversation with someone when they'd ask me what I did. When I'd say, I'm a receptionist, they'd make up an excuse and walk away. So now, I make up other names for what I do. Communications control, servo mechanism. There isn't a 10-minute break in the whole day when the phone isn't ringing. You can't think, you can't read. I'll do drawings, modern sort of, things of nature, never people. I'll always pretend I'm alone and it's quiet. I call it the land of no phone. I never answer the phone when I'm at home.
Operator, may I help you? Good evening, may I help you?
Bronson Fisher and Joe, may I help you?
What number
One
did you
moment, I'll
want?
see if he's in.
Operator, may I help you?
Sit here and meet up. Wouldn't it be great if you just take this handful of cords and just pull?
Operator,
We think about it.
May I help you?
We think about You are so thankful for these people. You say yes, it's been a horrible day.
Thank you for asking.
Make 2 round trips to Milwaukee and back again. Pass within 4 blocks along the house and never go home. I see the men sitting in there with their families, their wives and their children, and I'm wishing I could be there. Sometimes I wish I just had the experience of not having to go to work.
When I retired, the first couple of years, I was downhearted. I had nowhere to go, nothing to do. But then I gave myself a good going over. Joe always says, you can't sit home feeling sorry for yourself like this. You gotta get up and do things. Well, the day goes pretty fast for me now. Now I hardly ever daydream anymore. I'll just think of something, and I'll forget it. That daydreaming, it don't do you no good. You gotta keep busy, keep moving. That's the trick. You wake at 10, fold up your bed. You can't leave it open all day, you know, that's depressing. You cook an egg, you toast some bread. You cook for yourself and you save a bundle. If you don't manage your money, who will? You think about the day ahead. You can't sit home feeling sorry for yourself. It's like I said, you gotta get out, keep busy, and do things. You take a walk, you meet a chum. This guy lives down by the National Biscuit. Boy, you should see the nice aroma. You shoot the bull, you argue some, and maybe he calls up a couple of other fellas to come over and play some poker. You lose a gin until they come. This guy remembers what cards you picked up. The dirty bum. But even getting beat at gin sure beats doing nothing. You take a bus, you take a train, you go and visit your wife's grave. On the way, maybe you read the Reader's Digest. It does you good to use your brain. You go and visit a cousin, maybe take a six-pack along. You take a stroll down memory lane. Why, me and him, we was always together. And Raisin Cane. Why, I remember back in the day, we was inseparable. All the times we had. I remember once, back in 22, we were at despair with these girls we knew on this crazy ride where you screamed or you prayed. The Big Dipper, they called that one. We could hardly walk as we left the car, so we staggered down for a candy bar where we sat and laughed in the penny arcade. At 6 o'clock, you watch the news. Now, them politicians make you so mad you want to throw your slippers at the set. You watch a game, don't take a snooze. Most nights you just lay around, call your daughter. You watch a game, then take a snooze. But then there's Sunday. Sundays are different. You change your shirt and shine your shoes, because you're going around the block to the tavern. You shoot some pool, you drink some beer. You don't have to drink a lot to have a good time. Have 3, maybe 4 in an evening. You find a pal, you bend his ear. You meet a lot of your old crowd there Sundays. And sometimes you get together and you'll sing the kind of song you never hear, like Pretty Baby, T for 2. And then you'll cheer. Well, I remember last Sunday we all got together and we sang Till We Meet Again. I once did the waltz to that tune. Honest to God. It was at a dance, I was 17, and the girl was like from a magazine, and the lights were low, and I really mean low. I think a couple of my friends had something to do with that. So I kissed her cheek as we waltzed away. I remember that like it's yesterday. She was so surprised, I can hear her say, Joe. Drive you home from round the block. You take your cash out of your sock. You fix the bed, you check the lock. You wind the clock. When I retired, a lot of my friends said, Joe, you shouldn't have done it. You got your health. But it was too late. I don't know why I retired, actually. Just habit, I guess. But I got no regrets. I keep busy, keep traveling. I go to fires every once in a while. That big fire we had over on Milwaukee Avenue, about 3 weeks ago. I just remember the smoke was pouring out of there as heavy as hell. You can't even see see the flames, you know. Must have had about 30 units there. You hear about it over the radio. Boy, that was some fire.
You go in there and it's dark. There's smoke just pouring out of every window. It all happens really fast. I feel this tremendous heat to my left. I turn around and the whole room is just orange and yellow. You can just see orange and feel the heat. The lieutenant and the other fireman got the ladder up and saved 2 people. But downstairs, there was a guy trying to get through a door. They had bolts in the door. He was burnt dead. You know what the lieutenant said?
We lost the guy. Shit, we lost the guy.
You saved 2 people. How are you supposed to know there was a guy down sleeping on the pool table?
Yeah, but we lost the guy.
I always wanted to be a fireman. A lot of guys want to be firemen. It's like kids. Everybody's still a kid. Guys 40 years older kids, they just lose all their hair, they don't screw that much. I like everybody working together. A common goal. We got a lieutenant there. He says the fire department's the closest thing to socialism there is. The officer's the first one in the fire. So when you get to captain or lieutenant, you get more work, not less. That's why I look up to these guys. We go to a fire, the lieutenant's the first one in. If he leads, he takes you out. I want to respect an officer. I want to see someone higher up that I can follow. When I was in the Army, I did respect the officers because the men did all the work. That goes for the police department, too. Yeah, I was a cop. You know why I switched? I like people. And sometimes I would get this hatred coming into me. I hated it to get me like that. This one time, there were these 3 young guys drinking wine. 3 young Spanish guys. I said, fellas, if you're gonna drink, do it in some apartment. Because they were spilling the wine and they pissed right in front of the house in the lobby. So I came back half an hour later and they had another bottle out. They were pissing around. I said to myself, I'm trying to be nice. So I walk up and there's 2 of them facing me and one with his back to me. And he says, man, what's the Mick breaking our balls for, man? I said, you piece of shit. I swung my nightstick hard to hit him in the head. He ducked and I hit the pillar. He turned white and they all took off. It scared me that I could get this hatred so fast. I was shaking. So I took the fire department test in '68 and got called in '70. You know, the world's so screwed up, the country's screwed up, but the firemen, you actually see them produce. You see them put out that fire. You see them come out with babies in their hands. You see them give mouth to mouth when that guy's dying. You can't get around that shit. That's real. You know, I worked in a bank. It's paper. You're looking at numbers. It's not real. But I can look back and say, I helped save somebody's life. It shows something I did on this earth. I always wanted to be a fireman.
Do you know what I wanted to do all my life? I wanted to play the piano. Yeah, that's what I really wanted. And I'd write songs and things about my life growing up in the South, and about my mama and my grandmama. But now I've got my own black, beautiful daughter now, and I've got plans for her. So every night I leave my house to go scrub in somebody else's house. Then I comes here at night and scrub it again. For generations, that's all we've done, scrubbing. My mama, my grandmama, and me. But I'm going to be the end of that particular line. Mama worked just like a mother before her. Domestic working was their trade. There was laundress, cook, and living help. There's a girl, babysitter, and a hotel maid. They worked 6 days a week, all day long. Never could get out of debt.
I was recommended for this job as a copy boy in a Chicago newspaper. So I went down to the editor and I told him how much I wanted to be a journalist. He liked me a lot. I wore a tie that day. Going to work for me was this mercenary sort of thing. I had organic walnuts and organic raisins. I was giving them out to everybody. Because at this stage of the game, I was in a very mellow mood. I was enjoying my job. I was mostly answering phones when people would call up and complain or have a problem. I'd say, hey, listen, this is a capitalist newspaper. And as long as it's a capitalist newspaper, it's not going to serve you. Because the sole purpose is to make money for the owner. I told him to call up the editor, or come down and take over the newspaper. Some of these people responded very well to these suggestions. And then one day, there's this vase on this desk with some flowers in it. And I sat down, 5-6 minutes at the most. They said I disturbed the office. And I was just sitting there with my back real straight, breathing. Right? Instead of... And this disturbed them. You know, I wanted to be touched by these flowers. So I reached out and stroked a couple of the petals real gently. And I wanted to say, hey, plant, I know you're stuck in this office, and it's a drag, and you're lonely. But I love you. The next morning, the editor calls me into his office, and he said, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to smash his head in with a baseball bat. I mean, he's a really great guy. I like him a lot. I don't know if I'd get any pleasure with shooting him up with a 50 caliber machine gun and watching his body splatter to pieces. My fantasy all spring at the paper was taking a gun and going in there and blowing all of them away. So walking into the editor's office and saying, how do you face your death? I wanted to do something to show them, hey, I'm better than you assholes. And I thought, how could I show them? Smoke a joint in the city room, meditate in the library, kidnap Marshall Fields, shoot him? I had to think quick, so I looked up at the editor and I said, I hope you can deal with the conditions you're creating. And I walked out of the office, and I started to cry. And the editor, he chased after me. He said, wait a minute, I'm not creating these conditions, you are. And I said, no, I'm not the one with the power, you're the one with the power. I hung around the office the rest of the day, handing out copies of Rising of Angry. And now I'm on unemployment. And the first couple times they were real nice to me. Until some lady said, take a number. I wanted to say, hey, screw you. I can wait outside your house, knock you over the head, and take your money. That's bitterness. I don't like to be bitter. I'm a pacifist.
I've heard a lot of songs say, where are you going, my son? Now I know they're true. Boy, you never stop to think how fast the years run, or the things they steal. I remember you was 3 and a half. Your mom and me, we'd sit there after things got quieted. We'd laugh at some new took you were to get to bed and we'd plan the night away, planning for our kid. I was your hero then. I couldn't do no wrong as far as you were concerned. You thought I was the best of men. The tables hadn't turned. You hadn't learned how little time it takes. And daddies make mistakes. Seems to me that lately I've been thinking a lot. I think about my dad. Lots of funny things come back I thought I forgot, and now they make me sad. High school and it used to be. I didn't want him touching me, and I shuddered if he did. Further back to summer nights, baseball games beneath the lights, and sleeping in the car. My daddy and his kid. He was my hero then. He couldn't do no wrong as far as I was concerned. I thought he was the wisest and the strongest and the best of men. The tables hadn't turned. I hadn't learned how little time it takes. And everybody breaks. And daddies make mistakes.
This may sound kind of square, but my kid is my imprint, you know? I mean, he's why I work. I don't do it for any other reason but for him. Every time I see a young guy walking by dressed real sharp, I'm looking at my kid, you know? I want my kid to be smart. I want him to be able to quote Walt Whitman, and I want him to be proud of it. Someday I want my kid to walk up to me and I want him to say, "Dad, you're a great guy and I love you a lot. But you're such an idiot." Because if you can't improve yourself, you might as well improve your posterity. Otherwise, you might as well go on back to the cave. You know, I'm sure that when that first caveman came out of his cave and went over the hill the other side, he didn't do that just out of curiosity. He did that so his kid wouldn't have to stay in that cave.
I've heard a lot of songs say, "Where you going, my son?" And now I know they're for real. Oh, you never stop to think how fast the years run, or the things they steal. Now it seems I always knew why I do the things I do and the things I never did. Why I worked my whole damn life just to give a better life than the one my dad could give me. I give it to my kid.
So you want to hear about my job? Well, I don't want to talk about my job. I'll talk about anything else. The game the other night, whether I got drunk, whether I didn't get drunk, got laid or didn't get laid. Unless the guy's a nut who never talks about work. You know, sometimes you just gotta think. You gotta take a beautiful piece of artwork. Say Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. This beautiful piece of art. But what if Michelangelo had to recreate that 1,000 times a day? Don't you think that would dull even his senses? Or if Leonardo had to recreate his anatomical charts 60, 80, or even 100 times a day? You know, sometimes when the steel's coming down that line, just out of pure meanness, I guess, I'll just take my hammer and I'll put a little dent in it. Just to make it unique, you know? I'll deliberately screw it up just so that I can say it was mine. It may be a dent, a scratch, but it's my signature, my imprint. It's mine. You know, take buildings, say the pyramids or the Empire State. Those things didn't just happen. Somebody put them there. Someday I want to see a building, say the Empire State, with one wall just devoted to the names of every electrician, every bricklayer, all the names. So that a guy can take his son by and say, see? Up there on that 25th floor, I put that steel beam in. You know, a writer can point to his books. Or a painter. Well, he's got his paintings. But what do I have? Everyone should have something to point to.
See that building? I was the guy who did the design.
I was the one who drafted the plans, every detail and every line.
See that building? I ran the crane that lifted the beams. I was the guy who worked up above. Look at those bricks are mine.
See that building?
Look how my door hangs in the frame.
See that building? When it lights up, I scratch my name. See that building? I'm on the staff, I work as a guard.
I clean the floors and I clean up good.
People don't know my job is hard.
See that building? 5 days a week I work at a desk. I do the books, I handle the mail. 9 on the dot, I punch my card.
See that window up by the ledge, 10 from the top. See that window, count from the left. 1, 2, 3, stop! That's where I work. Everyone should have something to point to, something to be proud of. Look what I did, see what I've done. I did the job, I was the one. Everyone should